Oh, not on my screen. It's weird.
Yeah, everybody's just attendees on mine except for Steve.
Huh.
Attendee 4. See attendee 4.
Yeah, and I can see everybody's name.
Yeah, me
Yes,
too.
I wonder if it's using the. Who's using the app versus using the website?
I have the app.
I have the app.
I
I have the web.
Okay. I was wondering if that was it.
Can you all hear me out of this headset?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes. I had to make sure there was no dirty laundry behind me.
So Tony, what we'll do is you'll call the meeting to order, then I'll go through the legal stuff
Okay.
and then do the motions and.
Okay.
Now, I've been using Zoom and we use the space bar to unmute. Is there any shortcut like that here so we're not getting feedback?
I don't know.
Casey, if you kind of hover, like move your mouse around towards the bottom of your screen, there's usually 3 icons that pop up. So there's the mic and you just hit that.
Okay, so there's no like space copy, I guess.
No, not like that
Okay.
one. Yeah,
I know if you mute, it helps with the feedback, so I'm going to mute
Yeah,
unless I'm
it
speaking.
does.
Right. And we should probably, once the meeting starts, make sure everyone's muted until they're called on to speak, or and we'll have to figure out some systems
Yeah.
around that.
Yeah. Make
During a
this,
budget committee, we kind of just held up our hand and waited to be called on the other night.
Right.
Yeah. Make you guys smaller so I can see the agenda too.
Oh yeah, I can't.
Tim, I've got 7 o'clock and we're all here, so.
Okay. So then
Wait,
I will.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
We gotta make sure we're on TV.
Oh, right. That's too many things for me to manage.
All right, I'm gonna mute.
We're on. We're on.
So then I'm going to go ahead and call the April 1st meeting of the Town Council of the Newmarket Town Council to order. And I'm going to pass it over to Steve, to our town manager, Steve Fortier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The chair of the town council, due to the COVID-19 coronavirus crisis, in accordance with Governor Sununu's emergency order number 12, pursuant to Executive Order 2020-4, town council is authorized to meet electronically. Please note that there is no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to the meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the governor's emergency order. However, in accordance with the emergency order, this is to confirm that we are A, providing public access to the meeting by telephone with additional access possibilities by video or other electronic means. We're using GoToMeeting platform for this electronic meeting. All members of the board have the ability to communicate contemporaneously during this meeting through the GoToMeeting platform, and the public access to contemporaneously listen and, if necessary, participate in this meeting through dialing the following phone number. That's 1-866-899-4679. And the access code is 791-749. That information is also available on the town website. B, we are providing public notice of the necessary information for accessing the meeting. We previously gave notice to the public on how to access the meeting using GoToMeeting, and instructions are provided on the Town of Newmarket's website at www.newmarketnh.gov. And we're providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting if there are problems with the access. So if anybody has issues, please call 603-292-1221. And if that were to happen, we need to adjourn the meeting if the public is unable to. Please note that all votes are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call. We're going to start by doing attendance. When each member states their presence, also please state whether there anybody in the room with you during this meeting, which is required under the right to know law. So we'll start with Councilor Finch. Is there anybody in the room with you?
Nobody's in the room with me.
Okay. Councilor Sanders.
Helen Sanders, no one's in the room with me.
Okay. Councilor Dumont.
Present, 1 person, 3 cats.
Who actually, I need the name of the person.
My fiance, Alex Eastman. She's sitting 10 feet away from me.
Thank you. Counselor Kuiper. Counselor Kuiper, can you hear me?
I'm here alone.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Matthews.
I'm here. No one else is in the room.
Thanks.
I am here and no one is in the room.
Counselor Burns.
I am here. Nobody's in the room.
Counselor Weinstein.
I'm here and no one else is in the room.
Okay. So the first item of business is we need to elect the chair and vice chair for the coming years. Typically what we do is that we would take a nomination. So you need a first, second. And then if there's more than one, we will have people state their preferences until a majority, for example, say if it was somebody nominated Counselor Smith and somebody nominated Counselor Jones, I would go around the room and you'd state the last name and that would be your vote. And if if one candidate gets a majority, then they become chair. If nobody gets a majority, then we take the two highest vote getters and go the next round. Understand? We're gonna need mics on now.
Yes.
Understood.
Yes, understood.
We're gonna open nominations for chair of the town council.
I would nominate Counselor Weinstein.
I'll
Second.
second that.
So motion by Counselor Finch, second by Counselor Burns. Are there any other nominations? Okay, seeing none, we can just vote yay or nay. So we'll just go around the room. Counselor Finch,
Aye.
Counselor Sanders,
Aye.
Counselor Dumont,
Aye.
Counselor Kuiper,
Aye.
Counselor Matthews,
Aye.
Counselor Burns,
Sorry.
Aye.
Counselor Weinstein.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You want to take it over for here for vice chair, or do you want me to continue?
Sure, I can take it over.
Okay.
So then the same rules would apply and I would accept any nominations for the role of vice chair.
I nominate Amy Burns.
I'll second that. Are there any other nominations? Then, town manager, if you could call the roll, please.
Counselor Finch,
Aye.
Counselor Sanders,
Aye.
Counselor Dumont,
Aye.
Counselor Kuiper,
Aye.
Counselor Matthews,
Aye.
Counselor Burns,
Aye.
Counselor Weinstein.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay,
Congratulations, Amy.
Thank you.
I'm kind of going back and forth, so I apologize if I'm a little disjointed. Let's see. Oh, there's no-
Next, the adoption of the rules.
Okay, thank you. So the next item is the adoption of the town council for 2020-2021. Are there, I guess first I would accept a motion to adopt the rules.
I'll make a motion to adopt the rules of the town council for 2020-21.
Second.
Are there any questions, any changes, any concerns?
Madam Chair, just to let you know, there were no changes in the rules from the current year.
Okay. Matthews.
I did notice, I had emailed Steve about this. It does say 5 minutes for public speaking. I think that you all had modified in the past couple of months to do 3. I think, Steve, you should have that email. I don't have the page in front of me right now.
Yeah, we're gonna switch that.
Switch it to 3?
Yeah, that's what we were having.
Okay. Any other comments about the rules? No.
No.
Then if we can go ahead and call the roll, please.
Counselor Finch,
Aye.
Counselor Sanders,
Aye.
Counselor Dumont,
Aye.
Counselor Kuiper,
Aye.
Counselor Matthews,
Aye.
Counselor Burns.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
So then the next item of business is the town council committee assignments, and everyone should have received, or it's on our agenda, the current list of assignments. And in the past, I mean, we've done this a couple different ways, but if people, I don't know if you've received anything, Steve, have you received anything?
I did not.
Okay. So if people have preferences, we can state those, and then vote on that as a whole. Is that's what we've done in the past, if I remember right? And so rather than individually, unless there are some sort of, so if we want to, I can go ahead and go through sort of what the list is currently, if that would be helpful.
Madam Chair, I just had one question.
Sure.
I had asked this last year, and I know it was kind of back and forth. Do we still have an official highway safety committee? Has that
We
done
have
any?
to by statute.
Oh, we have to?
Yeah.
Okay. Question answered.
It's clearly one of those committees that doesn't meet. Yeah. So here, let me go ahead and, sorry, find my list. So the highway safety is Councilor Kuiper. Budget committee is Councilor Dumont, and Councilor Finch is the alternate. The Energy and Environment Advisory Committee was myself, CIP, Councilor Burns, and Councilor Kuiper was the alternate. The Conservation Commission is Councilor Finch. Economic Development was Councilor Sanders. Planning Board was Councilor Cast, who is no longer on the council. So that's obviously vacant. And Councilor Dumont was the alternate. The ad hoc, and so these are two new committees that we added just this past year. The ad hoc Riverfront Advisory Committee was Councilor Finch, and the ad hoc Arts and Tourism Commission was Councilor Sanders. So that's where we're at currently. And if anyone has any pressing, or strong feelings about what they want to be on it, now would be the time to mention those. Councilor Dumont.
Yes, I would like to stay with the budget committee if possible. This would be my third year on it, and there's always more to learn, but I think that we have a good relationship and be beneficial to stay where I am.
Thank you. I'm going to keep a list going.
Yeah, I've got
If nobody else would like to join the CIP, I'd like to stay with CIP because it will also be my third year doing that one.
I would also, if possible, stay in the three seats I'm in, the alternate to Budget Committee, unless somebody else wants that, Conservation and the Riverfront Advisory, in particular because the Riverfront and Conservation Commission kind of overlap, so I kind of like to keep that going.
That's great. That continuity, I think, is really important, just as a editorial. Councilor Sanders?
I'll stay where I am with the Economic Development and the Newmarket Business Association and with the new committee for arts and tourism.
Councilor Matthews?
I'll throw my name in for planning board.
I support that.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
I lost my pencil, sorry.
I've got them.
Okay, good. I'd be willing to, or I'd be happy to stay on the Energy and Environment Committee. What are we missing?
Highway.
Highway safety.
Oh,
I'm fine staying with highway safety.
Can you handle the meeting schedule?
It's gonna be tough, but I think I can. I think I can handle it. And I'm also happy to continue being an alternate for the CIP.
okay. And so then we just need an alternate for the plan?
I am currently listed there. If there is anybody else who would like to jump forward and is super eager to get a boatload of mail, by all means. If not, I can stay there.
I don't mind being an alternate on the planning board if you want to step down, Councilor Dumont.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Great, so then that's everything, right?
It is.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Then, if that's acceptable to everyone, do we need a motion or?
Yeah.
So I would accept a motion to approve the committee assignments for the town council.
I'll make a motion to approve the town council committee assignments.
I'll second that motion.
If you, town manager, if you could call the roll, please.
Counselor Finch.
Aye.
Counselor Sanders.
Aye.
Counselor Dumont.
Aye.
Counselor Kuiper.
Aye.
Counselor Matthews.
Aye.
Counselor Burns.
Aye.
Counselor Weinstein.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
So the next item that we have for business would be the public forum, and we do have, I think A4 is, that's what I see. I'm assuming that person, or is that not?
No, there are no members of the public. I have channel 13 would be that extra.
Oh, okay. All right. I wasn't sure. So then seeing no,
Yeah, I want to remind that the public has a right to attend the meetings, but they don't always have a right to participate. But we would encourage people to email, and they can email at towncouncil@newmarketnh.gov if they want to communicate. That way, all the council will receive it, and we can read those emails at the meetings as well.
that's great. Councilor Matthews.
Yeah, I just wanted to commend Steve and his team getting the web link out on the agenda over a week ago. The only thing is, I don't know, I'm not on Facebook. I think, we have a Facebook page. I know we don't usually, post. I don't know if there's a counselor on Facebook who'd be willing to maybe post that web URL or the link to the agenda, just advance next time, just to try to get it out there.
Council Matthews, when we send out items via Facebook, it only comes through the official. So if we do it, we'll do it through the town one.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great. Then the next item of business is for the town council to accept the minutes of the March 4th meeting to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting on March 4th, 2020.
Is there
I'll
a
second that.
Thank you. Are there any changes, any questions? So seeing none, if you could call the roll.
Council Finch.
Aye.
Council Sanders.
Aye.
Council Dumont.
Aye.
Council Kuiper.
Aye.
Council Matthews.
Aye.
Council Burns.
Aye.
Council Weinstein.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
And the next item of business is the report of the town administrator.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As you can probably imagine, this hasn't been the normal situation for the last, that's why you did not receive a written report from myself. I wanted to make sure I got the most up-to-date information to the council of what's going on in town. As of 4 o'clock this afternoon, 450 individuals in the state of New Hampshire have tested positive for the coronavirus. As of today, also, the state had its 4th death. We do know that there are between 1 and 4 cases in Newmarket at this. As I said, to say that we've changed how we've operated is an understatement. As the council's aware, I closed all town business buildings to the public last week. We initially were going to try to have limited hours services, but at that point in time, the public was still coming in at too rapid of a pace, and that we didn't want to put the safety of the employees and the public at risk. We did not believe we could get the necessary 6 or 10 people in the building. We are monitoring the situation all the time. I'd say 24 hours a day. All department duties have changed, and they realize that this is going to happen for the time being. First, I have placed a spending freeze on fiscal year 20. We don't know what this is going to cost the town, so we don't want to have any unforeseen expenses at this point in time. I'm also stating that there will be no projects except for the McAllen Dam at this point in time done in fiscal year 21. So there'll be no road projects, nothing out of the ordinary at this time. The reasons for this is not only do we not know what our expenditures are going to be, but we also don't know what our revenues are going to be. Currently,
Steve, I'm just gonna take a second and ask that everybody mute themselves while Steve is giving the report, because there's a lot of feedback. If everyone could do that, thank you.
so not only are we concerned about expenditures for the coming year, we're also concerned about the lack of revenue. We heard that the number of people that are going to be unemployed shortly may have an impact on who's going to be able to pay property taxes and the liens and situation we have there. In addition, there's nobody going to restaurants. Well, they are, thank God, they're going to takeout as much as they can, but they're not staying in hotels, and the tourists aren't coming. So we have a lack of room and meals tax. Gas, nobody's driving. We don't have the gas tax to help with the road projects that we normally do. And motor vehicle registration, we're not going to have the same figures as we normally do. We have begun in many departments have begun telecommuting to do their job. So I had issued 2 orders. One is to comply with the new federal FMLA regulations as it regards to COVID-19. There's a new policy out on that, as well as a new telecommuting policy for all employees. I do have a list of what various departments have been going through. I've just public and the council and the public. First, the PD clearly has altered its model of policing due to this pandemic. They've taken drastic measures to ensure mitigation and social distancing occurs when officers deal with the public and each other. Strict directives have been issued by the chief to ensure that they're following proper protocol sent by the CDC, Health and Human Services, and the Emergency Operations Center. The citizens have actually been very receptive and appreciative that they're taking this pandemic extremely seriously. The police has received 0 complaints from citizens regarding the altered model of policing. They also want to take this opportunity to thank the public, and they've been very generous. Last week, they had a drive for personal protection equipment as well as cleaning supplies, and the public brought in a number of materials for them and the fire department. In addition, Flag Hill Winery of Lee donated a 5-gallon bottle of hand sanitizer, 5-gallon bucket of hand sanitizer for public safety in town. Fire and rescue has postponed all monthly training and meetings. Everything will be conducted through email and conference calls. All inspections have been suspended, and burn permits are only being issued online and you can get that on the town website. They haven't seen a dramatic increase in calls for services yet, but the surge is not anticipated for another week or 2. Our biggest challenge has been keeping the staff up to date with current policy and protocols from the state, as they sometimes multiple times a day. I can actually tell you that we've had calls at noon. Every day we have a conference call at noon with the state. We've had something happen at noon, and then by 3 o'clock, the rules have changed. So we're in that kind of situation. The hospitals are now requiring, the department's current supplies of PPE is enough for the next couple of weeks, and there's more on order. The hospitals are now requiring all providers, as well as the patient, to wear a mask before entering the hospitals. Hospitals won't supply the masks, so the burden falls on the departments. As of today, they've not had to quarantine anybody for exposure in the department. They responded to 6 incidents where the patient met the criteria for the coronavirus. Public Works is still operating. However, the building is closed to the public. Inspections have been suspended, and all employees are working. The social distancing policy has been put into place. I know we always hear this, that one of the common things about Public Works say, oh my gosh, there's one person to a truck. There is a reason why there's one person to a truck right now, and that's for social distancing. We want to continue to be able to get the job done and not contaminate the department. The transfer station is still operating, and social distance policies are in place there. And as I mentioned before, all spring projects are on hold due to budget concerns. Water and sewer, so no one can walk into the administration building. They have a sign with a phone number if anybody needs assistance. They're still conducting normal everyday business as they can, because they are required by state law and federal government to treat and test the water and maintain and operate the water and wastewater systems. And there's no waivers been granted. The department still needs it to at times interact with water users and its vendors. For example, they may have to go to a home to replace a leaking water meter, or have a vendor come in to the wastewater facility to deliver chemicals and parts, pick up and drop off dumpsters, or repair specialized equipment. The staff has taken every precaution necessary. They'll ask homeowners to allow entry and keep their distance, and the employees performing the work will wear appropriate protective equipment. Once left the home, the employee will wash materials, and him or herself with cleaner before entering the town vehicle. Town staff will keep its distance from the vendors that are on site. Some water and sewer projects are still moving forward because that is from the enterprise fund. Water and sewer staff are communicating through phone, email, and go to meetings with the Department of Environmental Services and its engineers. The town clerk has probably seen some of the most significant changes over the course of the last few weeks. In order to maintain staff during this time, they've actually split into 2 teams. There's an A team and a B team, with certain employees working Monday and Wednesday, and the other employees working Tuesdays and Thursdays. We also are coming in on Friday. They're also coming in on Fridays to in online payments and Dropbox payments. And the clerk herself will come in on Saturdays to do the same. We want to make sure the people know that we're still working and they can still receive information from the town. They can still register their vehicles if necessary online. They can still pay bills online, and they can still request vital statistics and license their dogs online. If it's an emergency, we will set up an appointment for a staff member to come out and help them. The finance team is beginning to work remotely and preparing to do so in case there's a situation. One employee is working remotely at this point in time, and a part-time employee who has small children is working a few hours in-house and then a few hours at home on a virtual private network. They're going to be diligent about social distancing and washing hands and cleaning surfaces. The IT folks have been working remotely since early March and working very well thus far. We've had some minor interruptions and slowdown due to the internet service providers and telephone companies, but they've been solved. Our town-wide software partner, Tyler Technologies, for the financial software, has also had some initial bandwidth overload issues and took them a few hours to address. That too has been successfully addressed, and we're working normally. Planning and building and safety. This is going to be changing. Governor Sununu issued Executive Emergency Order number 23 this afternoon as regards to certain meetings and signatures. It came in about 4:30. The Office of Building Safety, Health, and Zoning Enforcement has modified procedures to continue the core functions while reducing their risk for transmitting COVID-19. They've moved all permit applications to either mail or paper forms or via their online permitting system. They continue to take complaints, conduct outdoor and unoccupied building inspections. The interior inspections have been conducted by virtual means. The health officer duties are consuming dramatically more time, as you would expect, and we appointed a deputy health officer to assume duties should the health officer not be able to do so. We've had succession planning for the duties of building and zoning officials, and our temporary building inspector position, as well as mutual aid inspectors via the Seacoast Code Officials Association. They're taking the opportunity to encourage everyone to prepare for further social distancing that will, as you know, and now does include direct family members. In planning, they're trying to communicate through electronic means as much as possible. They also will be going to emergency meetings via GoToMeeting. However, as of this afternoon, all timelines that are associated with planning has now been suspended by the governor's order, as well as all timelines as regards to building permits and a number of other items, but I just haven't had a chance to actually read the entire order at this time. Finally, recreation. They're working completely remotely at this point in time. All facilities are closed, except for parks. Parks are not closed at this time to comply with the governor's encouragement of people getting out and about. Some people in town don't have the luxury of having a front yard just to walk around. So we want to make sure there's some open space where they could be socially distant from each other. But this is also a good time to remind the public is that we are not washing down equipment, playground equipment. You don't have the ability to do that. So we encourage people to try to stay off the playground equipment as much as possible. The recreation department, as soon as this broke, we switched over from recreation and mainly working on senior services to make sure the seniors and those in need are being helped. Someone can call a list of seniors every day to check in the morning to see how they're doing, to make sure everything's okay. They're doing light shopping for seniors who may not be able to get out because of different vulnerabilities. And they're also providing other assistance to the seniors. Program at this point in time, and we're going to review it on a month-to-month basis. I've been getting questions about summer program. As of now, it's still on. We're not going to cancel until such time as we know where we're going to be. In addition, I just want to try to get some of the rumors that are out there answered. No, we are not suspending the orange bag system. That is still in effect. You can still purchase bags at stores throughout town. That would, if we did so, would take a huge hit on our revenues because that pays for the solid waste. I've heard everything. I know the governor's looking at ways that we could provide various assistance on property taxes, but I also have to see again, what would the impact of that be to our operations? Because it's a trickle down there. If one person doesn't pay or one group doesn't pay, then somebody else has to make up the funds. So we still have to pay police, fire, teachers, and other entities. So we still need to have a revenue source. We are now allowed to dip into our undesignated fund balance with permission from the Department of Revenue Administration. We do not have to get a special vote to do so. That was also in the emergency order today. So if we do hit an emergency situation, we can hit that undesignated fund balance, which is, as everybody knows, that's what commonly refers to as surplus. I can tell you that everybody here is taking this very seriously and working very hard to the point where emergency operations center meetings are not taking place in the same room any longer. We just want to make sure that we are all socially distant. And in case one individual may get it, we don't want to contaminate the entire town staff. We're continuing to look at rolling out other people to telecommute, but there are individuals that need to be in town due to have essential staffing. As I said, we're in communications with the state on a daily basis, from everything from legal questions to security to just how we're going to be dealing with the pandemic. I can tell you that our group is ready for it as much as we can be, because this is really uncharted waters. Nobody's gone through this kind of situation. We practice and we have our emergency operation plans for everything. This was not always one of the big ones because the odds was not going to happen, but it is. So that is where we are at this point in time. Is there any questions from the council on anything that we're doing?
Councilor Dumont.
I have a couple quick ones. Steve, you mentioned that projects are being put on hold right now through spring, just until we can settle our financial situation. Is there anything of significance or of time concern, anything like that, that's going to be noticeably impacted at this point? Or
No,
are these projects all stuff we can hold off on?
most of them are projects we can hold off on. The only big thing would be, since we already been approved to, with the bond for the McAllen Dam, that those funds all come from the proceeds of the bond. So that is gonna move forward because it does not impact the budget or the general operations. Projects that we're talking about would be more like, road paving, any
Okay.
other special projects like that that we may have coming up that we'll have to postpone because of, we just don't have, we want to make sure we have the funds.
Yeah. And then my second question was just in terms of property tax collection. Is there a plan in place for folks who may not be able to make their property tax payments? Is the town going to immediately start, going after to try to collect that? Is there going to be a grace period where the town just recognizes that there's just no income right now? Or
As of right now, there's no statutory provisions to allow us to have a grace period of any
Okay.
type. So we do have to follow the law. There's discussions on possibly forgiving interest
Mhm.
on late taxes, but we're not sure what that's going to be because, and again, if there's no penalty of having late taxes, then there's no reason to pay the taxes. So we would not be getting our revenue to operate the town. So
Understood.
that's one of the concerns that we're having as well. I've asked the finance director to do a cash flow analysis of where we are. He thinks we should be okay, that in comparison during the Great Recession, we didn't have to issue any tax anticipation notes.
Mhm.
So, I mean, this is a different beast, but if we go by that model, we were okay then. But he's going to be providing me with a more information shortly.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor Sanders.
I just have a quick question, Steve. I'm not on town water and town sewer, but have the people who are been notified that there will be no shut-offs during this
Yes.
period?
Yes, we've
Okay.
notified individuals that there's no shut-offs. We've been posting it in every notice that we send out. It's on the doors, so people who are worried that they're going to be shut off, that it does say there would be no shut-offs during this period.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor Matthews.
Hey, Steve, two questions. Just to follow up on the water. Does the town have the statute authority to defer interest payments on late water bills?
As of right now, no.
Okay, so the governor has to issue an executive order for deferring
That's
interest
what
payments
we're
for.
still looking. Yeah, that's what we're still trying to figure out is there's the NHMA legal team is working with the Attorney General's office and working with the governor's attorneys to figure out what avenues we could do and whether or not it's a prudent item to do. Because again, we still have to operate the town at the end of the day. So we need to make sure we have a revenue source coming in.
So I want to go ahead and take this opportunity to, first of all, say thank you to our town manager, who the communications throughout this entire ordeal have been timely and thorough. And I know that I personally have really appreciated all of the communications that have come from the town. So I wanted to make sure that I took a minute to say thank you for this. And then also to all of our town employees. I happened to go into town hall. I've lost track of time. I think it was one day last week when I had to be sworn in, and I saw our town clerk running up and down the stairs to help someone with their with their car registration, and I know how hard people are working. I mean, that was just one example. That's the town clerk. I know that our chief of police and our fire chief and DPW, all of our departments are working overtime, and our rec department, like everyone is just working overtime to make this as seamless as possible for our community, as seamless as it possibly could be. And I just want to publicly thank everyone for the amazing work that they're doing. And I know that they'll continue to do, because this is, from all reports, far from over. And this is going to be the new normal kind of moving forward, at least for the next, probably the next couple of months. So I just want to say thank you.
Thanks.
Any other comments about the town administrator or town manager's report?
We get it screwed up all the time.
It's going to happen probably 1,000 times. I've been saying town administrator for 6
Yeah.
years. So seeing no other comments, we'll go ahead and move on. The next item would be committee reports. I don't know if we have any committee reports, but, oh, Councillor Dumont.
I got you covered, Madam Chair. The Budget Committee met last night, and we welcomed in our new members. We also approved Eric Wigode. So I apologize if I'm mispronouncing his last name. I believe at this point we still have 2 or 3 spots still open on the Budget Committee. So by all means, if there's anybody out there who wants to join us, we're certainly there. We did have a couple of requests of the town council from the Budget Committee. Under RSA 32:22 review of expenditures, the Budget Committee is requesting that the town council provide to them a month-to-date review once a month at their meeting for current fund balances and levels. So basically a financial status update to where we are, what we spent, roughly where it's being spent on, if it's in line with our budget and related. That was kind of the biggest concern. There were also a couple of questions about budgets for new members and new member training. I know our town manager did something similar last year. I'm expecting that we'll see something similar coming forward again. But I will say that in general, the Budget Committee is very, I think they're ready to get to work now, which is a really good attitude to have, especially when at the end of the year we have our Monday night after Monday night meeting just nonstop for 2 to 3 months. So I think that we have a good crop of people who are ready to work. We got a lot of people who are really interested in how the town handles its finances. And I think that that's good both for us as a town council and for the town of Newmarket taxpayers. So I'm looking forward to another productive year.
We'll provide all the reports. This could be a good chance to also explain for committees in general that committee operations aren't going to be the same for the time being. We're trying to limit it to only the essential committees that need to meet to continue government. So that's just to let everybody know. We gave all the committee assignments, but a lot of those committees probably won't be meeting. Because the governor's orders does state it has to be something for the continuation of the government. If it's something that can be put off, they're recommending it be put off.
Does that negate all meetings in general that are not essential, or just meetings that can't be done through an electronic means like this one?
My understanding is they preferred that we try to limit the number of non-electronic meetings, because it's not the same as having the ability of somebody to attend. Say if somebody doesn't have a phone or a computer or any other means of watching the meeting, they can't walk in to see the meeting. And that's the concern.
Fair enough. Thank you.
A quick question about that, Steve. Do you foresee that changing? Like if this continues, I know we at least have until May 4th at this point. And if it continues through the beginning of June, I mean, at some point town business needs to operate and we need to continue, we need to have some continuity. So have there been any discussions kind of at your
Not
level?
yet.
Or no?
Not yet. They're still trying to figure out, I mean, still trying to figure out the law and what we can't, for example, they gave us the permission to meet this way about 2 weeks ago, right when it first started. But then they forgot it. There was the portions about the planning board, that there were a bunch of timelines that had to be met there. And that's when they finally suspended that today. The other issue is they finally did the ability for bodies that need to sign documents to do it digitally. So there were some that you could, like the DRA form that you did was legal, but some contracts, they said they needed it in person. The governor waived that today. That just happened today, which was going to be a problem for us because there was a couple of contracts that need the council to sign, and the banks were being difficult, to say the least, to accepting a digital signature. It's like I said, we're playing it by ear at this point. My feeling would be is if it continues to go on, then yes, we would do regular committees meetings digitally or by some means. But at this point in time, we're just trying to continue the operation of government.
And so along those lines, just another question. How will our meetings proceed? Will we meet?
Yes.
The same, yeah.
I think it's
Same
important to meet even just for updates of what's going on. So the council knows, and there will be actions that the council will have to take. You probably won't have as many ordinances and resolutions, and if you do have ordinances, they could be emergency ordinances that need to address some of the items that we're facing. But I think it's important for at least for me to give the council a periodic and the public update of what's going on. Can ask questions of me, and if need be, I'll have department heads in it as well.
Great. Were there any other committee reports? I can't imagine that there were, but we haven't met in a long time, so you never know. All right, then moving on. We don't have any resolutions to go over tonight. In the second reading, I should say. So our next items, we have some nominations and appointments, and the first is Mary Mahoney, who has for the library trustee appointment. So I would accept a motion to approve Mary Mahoney as a library trustee.
I'll make a motion to approve Mary Mahoney as a library trustee.
I'll second that.
Just a point of clarification, Madam Chair. All these should now be till the term to expire April 2000, whatever the year is, because of the charter amendment. And all terms now begin in April, not March.
Does that matter with the applications as they're written?
No, it's basically 1 month. It's pretty much the same thing. Yeah.
So are there any questions or comments about Mary Mahoney's application? Seeing none, if you could call the roll, please.
Councilor Finch,
Aye.
Councilor Sanders,
Aye.
Councilor Dumont,
Aye.
Councilor Kuiper,
Aye.
Councilor Matthews.
Aye.
Councilor Burns,
Aye.
Councilor Weinstein.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Great. And then the next would be for Robert Daigle for his application to the ZBA. And I would accept a motion to approve that application.
I'll make a motion to approve the application for Robert Deagle to the ZBA.
Second.
Seeing no questions or comments, if you could call the roll.
Councilor Finch,
Aye.
Councilor Sanders,
Aye.
Councilor Dumont,
Aye.
Councilor Kuiper,
Aye.
Councilor Matthews,
Aye.
Councilor Burns,
Aye.
Councilor Weinstein.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
I just lost my place. Guys,
Lisa Z for library trustee.
thank you. So I would accept a motion to approve Lisa Z as a library trustee with a term to expire April 2023.
I will make that motion to approve Lisa Z as a library trustee, the term expiring April 2023.
Second.
So seeing no questions or comments, call the roll.
Counselor Finch,
Aye.
Counselor Sanders,
Aye.
Counselor Dumont,
Aye.
Counselor Kuiper,
Aye.
Counselor Matthews,
Aye.
Counselor Burns,
Aye.
Counselor Weinstein.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
The next would be for Melissa Sharples, and that is for the Conservation Commission. So I would accept a motion to approve her application.
I'll make a motion to approve Melissa Sharples for the Conservation Commission with the term expiring April 2023. Is that correct?
Yep.
Second.
And if you could call the roll, please.
Counselor Finch,
Aye.
Counselor Sanders,
Aye.
Counselor Dumont.
Aye.
Counselor Kuiper, Counselor Kuiper. I take that as an aye. Counselor Matthews,
Aye.
Aye.
Counselor Burns,
Aye.
Counselor Weinstein.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion
Not even-
passes 7-0.
Sorry.
That's okay.
The next appointment is for John Carmichael, and that is to the Veteran Memorial Trust Committee with a term to expire April 2023.
I will make the motion to approve John Carmichael for the Veterans Memorial Trust Committee, term expiring April 2023.
I will second.
Seeing no questions or comments, if you could call the roll.
Counselor Finch,
Aye.
Counselor Sanders,
Aye.
Counselor Dumont,
Aye.
Counselor Kuiper, Counselor Matthews,
Aye.
Aye.
Counselor Burns,
Aye.
Counselor Weinstein.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
All right, that was a bunch. So the next item that we have is our resolutions in the first reading. And we have one tonight, and that is resolution 2019-2020-28, which is amendment number 1 to $200,000 grant agreement to reconstruct Lubberland Creek crossing on Bay Road in Newmarket. Whereas the town of Newmarket has been working in partnership with the Nature Conservancy on a project of mutual concern since 2014 to replace a 36-inch crushed corrugated metal culvert at Lubberland Creek on Bay Road with a new 16-foot wide concrete box culvert. Whereas the town received construction funding from the New Hampshire Environmental Services, NHDES, totaling $200,000 under the Aquatic Resource Mitigation Fund to undertake this project in conjunction with the Nature Conservancy and Newmarket Public Works Department, as set forth in a grant agreement approved by the governor and executive council approved on April 17th, 2019. Whereas the state and town now agree to amend the grant agreement to clarify the budget and payment for annual environmental monitoring, which was required as a condition of the wetlands permit for this project. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Newmarket Town Council approves this amendment and authorizes the town manager to sign the amendment documents from the state of New Hampshire. First reading, April 1, 2020. The next item would be correspondence to the town council.
There's none.
And then any closing comments by town councilors. Councilor Matthews.
So I just wanted to jump back. Steve, what committees do you see as being essential that will be having meetings going forward?
I think it's a play-by-play for topics. For example, if something like Conservation Commission had to meet because we're going to lose a property purchase that they're working on for and so they had to meet for an emergency to have an additional deposit. Other than that, they probably won't have to meet because of just what's going on. So it's going to be committee by committee and issue by issue when we have to call them.
Any other comments? No, then I just want to, oh, go ahead, Councillor Matthews.
No, if you want to go for it, I don't want to speak too much. I just have one more.
No, go ahead.
I just wanted to remind everyone that today is Census Day, so please fill out the census at census.gov.
Right, and I don't want to watch a truck. I don't know
Yeah,
if you saw that
exactly.
competition that Newmarket's having a competition that whatever community fills out the most, the two managers of the other two communities with Dover and Durham will have to watch a fire truck if our community loses. Newmarket won 10 years ago, so I'm hoping we can continue on.
I've already done mine.
Yeah.
We've done ours too here in the Weinstein household. I can't take credit for it, but it was done. Although I didn't know about this competition, I had no idea.
We had the press conference like the day before everything happened.
It got overshadowed.
It did, something else.
When you say wash a fire truck, you're talking about the little hand tub that we have, right?
Oh, no. It's the ladders usually.
Oh, gosh.
Awesome.
I'll sell tickets.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, I just want to say thank you to everyone, to the town council, and to all of our departments, and to our town manager for all the work that has gone last few weeks and will continue to go on. So, and with that, and again, I look forward to working with everyone this year and welcoming Councillor Matthews. And I think that it's going to be a challenging year. It's going to be different than certainly than anything that I've experienced on the council, and probably anything that any of us have. So I think it'll be an important year for us to roll up our sleeves and really get to work. So anything that I know, I speak personally, anything that I can do to help assist any of the departments, please feel free to reach out and let us know. I think that probably that's how everyone on the council feels. So, Councillor Dumont, did you want to add something, or?
Yes, actually, going to your point, in terms of being productive, I know that we try to push for our goal setting session as soon as possible. Are we looking at like a June meeting for that?
I would suggest we put that off for now.
Alright.
One, Primex they're working on this as well because of the insurance. So they're on hands on deck on their end.
Okay.
And realistically,
Yeah.
not sure what we can move forward with until we have some more information. And it would probably make sense for us to, at least at this point, it's just my thought, continue with the goals that we had. I mean, ideally tonight would have been a workshop to talk
Right.
about parking, and I mean, it just doesn't really seem like the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
No.
Thank you.
So seeing no other hands, I'm going to assume that there are no other comments, and I will consider us adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Stay safe,
Thanks, everyone.
everyone.
Thank you.